Jennifer Kerns of the Basic Freedom Defense Fund in Colorado is with us on the program. Jennifer, how are you this afternoon?
I'm wonderful. How are you guys?
I am good. All right, so we are growing ever closer to the day when ballots will start appearing in mailboxes for the Colorado recall elections, but I understand that there's another curveball that's been thrown here. The Libertarian Party of Colorado filed suit for emergency relief. They say that the Secretary of State violated provisions of the Colorado Constitution by only, giving them 10 days to try to get access to the ballot instead of what they say are the 15 days required under state law?
That is correct. As you know, Cam, we have done something that has not been done before in 140 years of statehood in the state of Colorado. And I think when you do something that's never been done before, you, of course, have questions and legal challenges that come up that have never come up before. So, yes, the Libertarian Party in Colorado is suing the Secretary of State so that they can get their candidates on the ballot for the September 10th recall elections. It reminds me, it's not unlike the recall election that we had in the state of California 10 years ago, where you also had people stewing and clamoring to get on the ballot of that historic recall election. You may remember we had Gary Coleman of Different Strokes, Mary Carey, an adult entertainment star, Ariana Huffington, some of us have forgotten that, thank God, was also on the ballot back then. So it's not unusual in a recall election situation to have people coming out and going to court to try to make sure that their party is represented on the ballot. It does, however, create a situation for the county clerks in the two counties where the recall elections are taking place, that is down in Colorado Springs and in Pueblo, certainly makes things challenging for those elections officials that have to administer this first ever recall election.
So when do we think, Jennifer, when will we know, what's going to happen, and how could this impact the election? Could we see a delay?
Well, it's interesting. Both counties, both the El Paso County and the Pueblo County clerks have already begun printing those election ballots, and they have to mail those ballots to overseas military voters as early as this week. I am told in one case, in the Colorado Springs case, that those ballots may have gone out or were scheduled to go out today. And, of course, if those ballots go out without the Libertarian candidate's name on it, and a judge later rules that that candidate's name should be on it, the elections officials is going to either have to issue a special notice or reissue a ballot, and that creates certainly a problem. Now, what's interesting about this is that both parties, the Democrat and Republican parties, their candidates had no issues getting on the ballot within that 10-day time period. Certainly, Governor Hickenlooper, as you know, waffled on setting an election date, drug his feet, had to be kicked, dragged kicking and screaming to set an election date for the special election.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a bit surprising that the Libertarian Party wasn't out there pounding the pavement, getting those signatures within that 10-day period, just as the other parties were.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens here. But it's got to be frustrating for you, Jennifer. All of this work here, and then just as you say, as the ballots are being printed, another wrench thrown into the works.
That's right. And what's interesting is the Libertarian Party, this is not the first time they have been at the focal point of an election, especially in Colorado Springs. Senator John Morse, who is the subject of this recall, who is also the state Senate president of the entire Colorado State Senate, the one who pushed through these gun control bills. The last time he was elected, a Libertarian was, publicly credited for helping him get elected. That district is very interesting in Colorado Springs. It's about a third Democrat, a third Republican, and a third independent. And in the last election where John Morse was reelected, he only won by about 375 votes. And a lot of people attribute that to a Libertarian candidate who got into that race, who took 2,000 to 3,000 votes, presumably from the Republican candidate. So there's a long history here of Libertarian activism in that district. And, we don't take an official position on candidates, but we certainly want to encourage as much participation in the process as possible. But, it's getting up to the deadline here. We're concerned and want to make sure that those elections officials who have the duty to administer these elections have ample time to print those ballots and get those to voters who want to participate in these first ever recall elections.
Well, listen, Jennifer, I appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you so much, and I look forward to having you back on soon.
Yeah, very good. We'll speak soon, Cam. Election day is approaching quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. And please, when you know anything about a ruling on this, let us know, will you?
We will. We'll do.
All right, thank you. Jennifer Kerns joined us from the Basic Freedom Defense Fund in Colorado this afternoon.